Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. Hope you all had a good weekend. We have a pretty big week ahead of us with the most important day coming in tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th. Then we have CPI data in the United States, that means inflation data. And the consensus is that it most likely came down again a little bit over the month of January. This is the inflation in the United States. And the forecast or the consensus, let's say, is actually 6.2, so 0.3 less than the month before, year over year. So a little bit of a more modest drop than the months that we had prior to that. And also the core inflation, they expect 5.5% from last month's 5.7%, so also a little bit more modest than the months prior, but still, all in all, people still think, the majority at least still thinks that the inflation came down again. With that being said, we are quickly going to look at BTC USD. This is on the 1 hour, and I said last week that we have an important support and resistance flip that is right here at the top from 5th of November. And as you can see, we bounced exactly to the dollar from that level. We also had a golden pocket here that we bounced off from. Actually, I can put it in real quick. That is measured from this top right here to this wick down here. You can see they were kind of playing at and around that golden pocket. Also, just underneath, if we take this out, we have some more support coming in off this trading range here on my left side, and I marked some yellow horizontal lines. The value area high here at 21,150 and the value area low here at 20,600. The support line, by the way, from 5th of November came in on 21,483. If we are going higher from here, then I have two important resistance lines above us. One, the low from the range that we then broke. Remember what I said also last week, that I started to dislike this whole idea of taking liquidity and going higher, because everyone was looking at it, and therefore I said it's going to become a crowded trade. I don't like those kinds of trades, and what do you know, we just smack through very, very fast. So if you have preset an order right here, then you will be absolutely liquidated. And then of course this didn't happen anymore, but right now what could be a valid scenario is that we are maybe going higher to this resistance right here, bearish retest, and then going lower. So there's 22,290, or we're taking one higher, the value area low from this range approximately at 22,500, 22,600. Those will be super nice bearish retest, and then I think we can absolutely go lower. If that happens, then I'm aiming for the range right here. That will be then approximately another 10% drop, I guess. A little bit less, 8, 9, 10, depending a little bit on where we are going to eventually stop, but that will be a pretty good trade. Let's say that the bottom is in, then you can aim for much higher. If we take the fib retracement to the upside from this bottom to this top, then you can see that 38.2 comes in nicely with the value area low, but the golden pocket is then the value area high of this range. Usually when we reclaim that value area low, we are going to visit that value area high. Might take some time, might have some retest, but it's usually what the price does, from value area low to value area high and vice versa. But like I said, that nicely lines up then with that golden pocket, approximately 23,200 to 23,300, and above that, I think once we break that value area high, it is a quick move to the upside, especially because there's not a lot of trading volume here to the top, and then I think we can really visit that 25k. For now, that seems pretty far away. If I'm just looking at the smaller time frames, doesn't look all too bad. I mean, here on the hourly, we have some nice waves here. This is a bit of a trigger wave. RSI is looking bullish, money flow looking bullish, VWAP looking bullish. So on the hourly, this looks good. You could even say that we already had a nice retest from this absolute bottom that we put in higher than to the golden pocket slash 78.6, and now marching higher. That actually would be very nice. Quick sidestep, there is no CME gap from last weekend. We already closed it. Price barely moved, so that is good news. I was a little bit worried about that, because in the last few weeks we had big pumps during the weekend, and therefore we also had a few major CME gaps, and therefore I was afraid that now we might dump further during the weekend, but that didn't happen, thank God. So nothing to take that at least in account. Then the 4 hour. We talked about last week that we have a bullish divergence here on the 4 hour, but I said be careful, the money flow doesn't look all too pretty to take this trade. Well, I was wrong. I think if you would have taken the trade, you still be up a little bit, 0.5%, not a lot, but still it would be a valid trade. This, to be honest, doesn't look all too pretty. We have here this trigger wave that is confirmed with the red dot, but the money flows to the upside, few up down, RSI is weirdly split, so 4 hour doesn't really give us a clear signal what to do. Macro, still very bearish. Here on the 12 hour, money flow coming down. Yes, momentum wave is coming to the upside, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like this and then maybe creating a very big bullish divergence to the upside to eventually 25k, but it will take some time. Again, this is the 12 hours, so that will take multiple days to create. Daily, also same kind of story. Momentum wave still very much down. Money flow is coming down. RSIs are a little bit to the downside, and this view up is also looks like it wants to have an inward curve. That is usually pretty bearish if you have something like this. Well, on the other side, if it's like outward curve, that is pretty bullish. That is really a momentum, a strength kind of indicator for us to go higher. And now I think if this eventually rolls over, that is very bearish, and then it could be a swift move up. But as again, also here, this is macro. This could take a couple of days, right? Doesn't mean that we're going to crash down today. I wouldn't be surprised if today and tomorrow we're going slightly up, especially when the CPI data comes in, it is as expected or maybe a little bit better than expected. We pump up and eventually we are going to have retest or rollover. Something like that would be actually my preferred scenario and would be definitely in the cards. Regarding to the CPI data, of course, you know the drill. If it is as good as expected or better, yippee-ki-yay to the upside. You know now my levels. If we are going down or it is suddenly much worse than expected, then I think it can be a very fast move to the lows of this range. That's something I would be definitely targeting then. So again, 1 hour before New York open, definitely keep a lookout for that. This is then the S&P 500, the mini futures, also something we'll always look at on a Monday. We had this rising wedge. I also posted this on Twitter. We broke it to the downside. This bottom line is a little bit biased. You could say we so far have not yet got a bearish confirmation, but you could also say, you know what, actually if you put a line like this, then you had your breakout, your retest, and now we are going lower. I would first be aiming at this 39.36 to 39.49. That is the golden pocket from this bigger range, top, bottom, and then lower. Something that confirms this scenario is the dollar index, also something that we always look at Monday. We have our top right here, or a top, shall we say, then we are going down. We had this bottom and now we are marching higher. We already tapped their golden pocket last week. And I actually expected us to go lower to at least the 0.5 or the golden pocket, but it looks like that we're already bouncing off from the the 38.2. That signals extreme strength for the dollar. If we are taking out this high, which it looks like we are going to do, then I think we are going to march higher. The first target will be this high, and that just signals that there is barely any power for the bulls to let the price go lower, for the bears to push the price lower before the bulls are already stepping in and push the price higher. All right, so that is kind of how you need to look at this. And that means that if this goes higher, risk assets like stocks and crypto will be selling off. So I am keeping a really close eye for the next 24 hours here at the dollar index, because it looks like we are going to break it, or at least create on this small time frame a higher high. Eventually we really have that much bigger point of control, golden pocket here at 110, measured from the ultimate top here to this bottom. But as I also stated last week, that will probably take a couple of weeks to play out. And with that being said, then we can also now finally say that it looks like our major bullish divergence that we already put in for such a long time is finally playing out, and we are finally marching to the upside. You want to see that money flow maybe curve up a little bit higher, but so far it looks pretty good. So sometimes you just have to stick to your guns and say, you know what, this is my scenario, this is how it looks like, and I will not deviate from that scenario until until it is being invalidated. And that is so far what we have done, and you can see that eventually now we are going higher. So with that being said, guys, that will be the end of the video. You know now kind of what I'm looking out for. Be careful. Like I said, can really go either way. I'm really hoping maybe for a move higher before continuation to the downside. So far this looks pretty nice as a bottom. I would be a little bit surprised if we do not revisit any of these lows and now just suddenly march higher to the upside. If it happens, it happens. But like I said, because the macro time frame, I think that still needs some more time to play out. But we could have maybe 1 or 2 green days in between. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share the video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the description. I will make sure that I will update you multiple times a day. Very good, Ray. Thank you guys so much. See you next one. Bye bye.